Show. What's in your cup?
A whole lot of everything, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody all around the world. Welcome to the best thing to ever happen to your life. This is the Kickback Show, thekickbackshow.com. I go by the name of Faz, and she is...
WESTSIDE, niggas. Again. Okay? Again. Again. I go by Organic Blackberry also, because it tastes like it sounds, it sounds like it tastes.
You heard?
And older, they might tell you some things. And he is...
DJ Swivel. Anything less would be Swivel Eyes. And, you know, I love how, like, the energy of y'all two together is on level, like, 11 right now.
Yeah.
I wish I was in the same space with y'all. We'd be all the way lit. It just...
right now.
Nothing can stop. We so high up that my tall ass legs swinging like Tiana's on the toilet.
Oh, man.
And they go like that. That's what
Shout out to Tiana Giovanna.
we love you.
I know what it is. It's because the Rams just won the Super Bowl. That's what it is.
Where's the Rams? I think they're on the west side, nigga.
Oh,
I think so.
man, LA.
Where's LA?
That's on the West Coast.
That's
it's on the West
crazy.
side. It's on the West side.
That shit's on the west side.
In the words of a great philosopher, Tupac Amari Shakur, West Side. Yeah.
Oh, God.
West side.
Favorite
You gotta,
avenue.
like, twist it like how he used to do it. West side.
The song with him and Trick Daddy.
Yeah.
Still balling to the damn dot.
West side.
Hit him up, West Side. Listen,
You know the engineer like purposely like cut the beat right when he said it too, just for like more emphasis, like just to put some
just in case for anybody that may miss it, just so you know, it's clarity.
right.
You know? Listen, got a little spooky. You know what I mean? It wasn't looking good for a minute. There's a lot that we need to touch on. First and foremost, congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams. There's one thing that Los Angeles cares about when it comes to its teams.
Winning, nigga.
That's it.
Winning.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, and it gets deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be a true representation of Los Angeles. Prime example, Lakers, winners. Dodgers, winners. Angels have won, but you're not in LA. We don't really claim you, right? Los Angeles Kings, winners. The football teams that have come to Los Angeles, that which being the Los Angeles Raiders, the Los Angeles Rams prior to coming back, and now Los Angeles Chargers. Out of those three, the Rams, now having a chip, have taken the throne as being LA's team. In my personal opinion, the Chargers can leave. Y'all can either go back to San Francisco, you can go to the Inland Empire, go somewhere else.
I'm okay with you guys staying.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, what's crazy is the Chargers, when they first moved from San Diego to Los Angeles, that very first season, like they were projected to go to the Super Bowl. And I had trained some of the guys on the team. Shout out to Jeremy Davis and Tyrell Williams. And but they kind of squandered. Well, I wouldn't say they squandered the opportunity. They didn't capitalize on the opportunity. And then they traded away a couple of like their key pieces, and then just now have sort of, you know, borderline become irrelevant. They're like the Clippers now, basically.
Right. They have to trade so that they can get some money back, and then they never was able to, you know. So, you know, Scott Pippen, you know, everybody needs.
We all need the right hand man to take you to success. You know what I'm saying?
Or what would they say? How you know the lightness if it wasn't for the darkness? So how are we gonna know? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are we gonna know?
We didn't know that the Chargers were worthless. Know how worthless they were. Now we do. Why?
Oh, bruh.
Rams, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the thing that I'm excited about, right? Like, one, Los Angeles has been known again for greatness from the teams that I've mentioned. In it's been less than 3 years that the Lakers, the Dodgers, and again now the Los Angeles Rams have won the championship. So I'm excited that we have that bragging right. And not only did they win, it was literally like a home game. To have a Super Bowl, which I want to say this is what the second consecutive, because Tampa Bay made it, last year. They clearly made it to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl was in their hometown. Fuck Tom Brady. So it's great that it was in Los Angeles Rams. And then before we get to the most epic performance to ever be televised, in a national football.
I just want to throw up a lot of games for y'all. You feel me? Like I just want a game for y'all. Like, keep going.
I have to mention that Drake, if Drake ever co-signs anything that I do,
that nigga
just sign my death warrant.
Did he put money on that nigga?
He bet $1.5 million on Odell Beckham Jr. just for the dude to get injured in the first quarter.
He needed to wash his money properly. I see what you're doing, my nigga. Like, you needed to wash your money properly, so you got to do it as a loss.
No, man, listen, stop co-signing things.
Loss.
They almost lost because
they definitely almost lost because he put that juju.
I'm saying.
Man.
This is y'all's king?
No.
Okay. Let's talk about this show. Halftime show got announced. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar.
And before let me say this before you go, because when that halftime show lineup was announced, I was like, shit. I haven't been watching the NFL for 5 years consistently, and I don't plan to start now, but this halftime lineup, I got to do it for, the whole, and especially because the Rams made it. Like, that was just, icing on the cake, if you will. But I mean, if the Rams didn't make it to this Super Bowl, like, I would have tuned in for the halftime show and then tuned right back out. But yeah, man,
it's crazy because I actually decided to start watching again this year just for the simple purpose of entertainment. It's like, okay, I guess people ain't angry anymore. What am I really angry about? What am I angry about that's going to really change people watching? Not to mention the way that I watch isn't going to benefit those in which it's supposed to. Allegedly. All the legal jargon that doesn't hold me accountable for the way that I watch. Either way, it definitely is one of those things. It's like, yo, this is exciting because it's deeper than just watching a performance, right? Like, we watch the Grammys, VMAs, AMAs, right? But I think the number one thing, and what's really dope, shout out to Jay for all of his involvement with, I feel, bringing this together, right? His involvement with the NFL to really shift the narrative of social change and diversity, Black people being seen, heard, and appreciated when it pertains to the NFL, right? Mm-hmm. Again, watching all these other shows, it's like, yeah, we get glimpses of the contributions that Black people, especially hip hop artists, bring to America, let alone the world, right? But this being literally one of the biggest stages to where you have, a lot of people aren't fans of the Grammys or certain genres of music, right? There's guaranteed, 250 million people that probably watch tonight?
Yeah.
Around the world. And for it to be this lineup, an all-star lineup, a group of individuals that we grew up with, that we've grown to love, that I can speak for Swivel, that we know personally, mm-hmm. Have known from the start of the career, you know what I mean? That being Kendrick Lamar, to now being on literally one of the biggest stages is such like an epic experience.
Especially with the way I feel like it was always a thing to watch the halftime show. but I feel like it's the halftime show has gotten more intentionally like creative. So the way that they did things, you know, with the living rooms and Compton on the ground and all of that, like the way I am like appreciative, like that was one of those, like, I don't know, I'm watching Super Bowl, I wanted to cry. Like, why do I want to cry? Like,
because
Foz, you just really put something in perspective for me, like, because I didn't even really like contemplate that in terms of 12, 13 years ago, I'm on stages doing performances, and the group that I'm DJing for is bringing Kendrick Lamar out and introducing him to like LA crowds and whatnot, and I'm just like, yo, you're just rocking with this dude on stage, you know, what doesn't feel like over 10 years ago, and now I just sat here and watched him kill a halftime performance at the Super Bowl.
With Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, and Mary J. Blige.
That's a freaking bar.
No. Well,
I forgot. That was Eminem's set, but like Eminem had Dr. Dre doing his boards. Like that's.
It's crazy.
He had Anderson .Paak on the drums.
Right.
It's crazy. It's naturally amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so amazing to see. And here's my favorite part. One, I had an inside scoop on a lot of different things. Shout out to Coco Sarai, who kind of gave me a heads up that Anderson was going to be doing the drums for Eminem, that 50 Cent was going to be the guest, you know, performer, right? I know a lot of people were speculating that Nate Dogg hologram or Tupac hologram was going to pop up, which, you would love to see that being in LA, but then also, it's like halftime is only 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of other elements that, you know, it's like, we want to give Tupac his just due, but it's only 15 minutes, guys.
Yeah.
But I love to see that everybody was in their element, right? Snoop being a Crip.
that was my first thing was like, yo, he kept it all the way Crip.
Listen, he let it be known. Listen, and so I don't know if this is a rumor. I don't know if this is just hearsay. I don't know. I wasn't in the room to know exactly what was prohibited, whatever the case may be. But according to our trusted and beloved internet, Dr. Dre wasn't supposed to say, you know, still not trust the police when he did DRE, still DRE. Nobody was supposed to kneel. Eminem did. Dr. Dre apparently dropped the M-bomb. He said nigga, which I'm here for. And then apparently Snoop wasn't supposed to show any affiliation. This is all alleged according to a random.
Snoop wasn't supposed to show his
He
affiliation?
wasn't supposed to show any type of gang affiliation.
So
to be
did
more
Mary,
specific.
so it seems like everybody broke. Did 50 do anything? Did 50 or Mary, any of the East Coasters, did they break any of the rules?
Mary showed up. So
oh my God.
Bruh, you're stupid.
I had to get one in. But listen, I will say before we get fully into Snoop, I love to see is despite my disdain for Mary supporters and that whole argument, I know I've dragged her through the mud. All jokes aside, it was great to see a Black woman being represented once again amongst a very male-dominated genre, that hip-hop, succeeding, right? And living in all of her glory. You know what I'm saying? Like, she looked wonderful. She had an amazing performance.
Right.
She rocked shows. And I think what was also brilliant about that is it also brings in another demographic that may not necessarily be in tune with the Super Bowl or even interested, right? You know, and granted, it's like the Super Bowl is major.
She had a whole power following.
I'm saying,
brought to the Super Bowl.
Power, Black women.
She's killing the game with that acting. I ain't no front. Like, I fucks with her.
I'm just glad that she stuck to the assignment and didn't get the whole like.
She did. Nah, she did a little bit of it though. We did a little bit of it though. A little, and then
she fell out.
Yeah, that's what happened. That whole that part, that is the fallout. That's the part where it was like, okay, we knew something was gonna be something. When did she
She fell out at the end of her performance.
So it was like she got the and then she just fell out.
My theory is that she got sick of herself.
Oh my oh my God. You are so annoying.
I
try to see how her life is. But
it's life. It's life.
Yes, you are annoying life.
A swirling bows. So listen, no, I appreciate seeing her and like it was definitely an amazing experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, despite whatever opinion people may have about artistry, you definitely have to show respect and give respect when it's due, and all of her accomplishments, and again, getting to this point. Because we've seen several divas, right? Whether they do the national anthem or actually perform. We saw Beyonce several years ago. We've experienced, Whitney Houston, I believe Mariah Carey has sang the national anthem.
Yeah, Jennifer Lopez.
Celine Dion? Have we seen?
Maybe, I think. Didn't Shakira do it one time?
A white woman, older, sounds familiar.
So it's good to have a beautiful Black, divine queen represent for us. You know what I mean? Again, shout out to Beyonce. But it's dope to have Mary to represent and do what she did. Okay. Back to Snoop. I appreciate the fact that and being around Snoop several times, experiencing that entity which is Snoop Dogg, which what I'm talking about is him being himself.
Yeah.
At all times, he doesn't give any flying fucks. Like, he just doesn't care at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised he didn't smoke on the stage.
Yeah, right.
And like that would have just been the epitome of the fact that he threw up the biggest Crip hand sign.
I didn't see it.
He threw it up loud and proud. Like it was louder than that. I still hear it. I still hear it. And he Crip walked. They had dancers in Dickie suits and Chucks.
I did see that.
My wish that I put on Twitter was that Corrupt came out and Crip walked at some capacity over one of those songs. That would have been an epic LA like poster for me that I would have had to put up in the wall here. You know what I mean? But absolutely phenomenal. I think that they represented the way that they were supposed to and did everything that they were supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he was definitely doing his thing. And then the fact that the stage, so shout out again to Coco, who literally told me after one of the rehearsals, like, yo, Dre said, this is her quoting Dre, that this performance is going to change the way that hip hop performers perform. You know what I mean? Like the way that we experience hip hop performances. Right. I would have to say that he definitely did that, just with different layers and dimensions of having so many things going on. And on camera, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure seeing it live was a different experience.
Yeah.
We're clearly only able to get one aspect, but to be able to like see the map of Compton, where he, born and raised, right? Them on top of Tams, and you know what I'm saying? Like literally showcasing like, this is where I'm from, this is who I am, and I'm bringing you some incredible legendary music. I think the bar is definitely set to, what's the biggest solar system in our universe? It's out there somewhere, billion light years away.
Yeah, and I heard a clip of an interview with Dre. Actually, I think he might have been talking to Big Boy, where he was saying like this, they were already having talks with like, what is it, AXS or Ticketmaster or whatever, like about taking this and using this halftime performance as sort of like a springboard to doing, some kind of world tour. So, which, they gave us 13 minutes of just, amazingness. Yeah. And we know, the catalog each of those artists have. So like they could easily sell out, stadiums and do a 4-hour show if they wanted to.
Easily, yeah.
I went to the Bad Boy reunion, and I went to several other concerts before and after that, and that's still the best reunion. The best concert I went to that year, because of all the people that came out and the catalogs all those people had, and what they was able to do with like 7 minutes, like how they was able to take you through a journey. And so yeah, they should, because yeah. I love all the artists, but it's just like all of those, you know, that era, that time, the way hip hop was treated and how you had to, you know, I just feel like it's more accepted now, you know, so it's like you can be the weird person. You can have crazy thoughts, even though you might get made fun of. There's going to be a bunch of people that support you because they're going to be weird too. So it's just, I feel like the standing up and standing in their truth that you had to do back in the day, I feel like that needs to go on the road. And then West Side, nigga.
Man, no, it was definitely a legendary moment for hip hop, and I'm glad that, like, you know, we had West Coast artists, you know, be the first ones to, like Foz said, kind of set the standard. Not only just for like hip hop performances in general, but like if any other hip hop artist is to follow as far as a Super Bowl halftime, you know, somebody like a Jay-Z or Drake or whatever, like they got their work cut out for them, right? To try to match what we just saw, or try to even beat it if you can.
Which is kind of hard because, I mean, to be an asshole for a second, when we were able to get the Super Bowl in New York with the New York Giants or Jets actually making it to the Super Bowl.
Right.
And, okay, in this generation, right? Like that was what? That was 20, like damn near almost 20 years ago.
No. Giants won in like 2013. No, only reason or 2012, somewhere around there. Only reason I know is because I was training with one of the homies who, like, he got traded from the Packers to the Giants, and they won the Super Bowl that year.
2020 lasted for at least 10 years.
It did.
Yeah, you're right.
It's been 20 years since we saw that. You know what I'm saying? And dog, I'm 1,000. Thing is, I mean, and I mean, again, it's one of those things to where, like, this was a very specific moment that I know that is going to be rare to see this again. You know what I'm saying? Where you have a hometown artist playing at a Super Bowl in his hometown with the hometown team, competing.
And Westside nigga, like, I don't know, like, whatever else we want to talk about, well, fuck about any of it, Westside nigga. Like, and Westside, and on to other dudes. Snoop said the Crips are here. The Crips are here.
Dr. Dre said nigga at the Super Bowl.
I don't even know when the nigga, I can't.
I'm about to look it up. Because like I thought I heard it.
I was rapping with it and I didn't have to pause, so I know that there has to be a problem. If I didn't edit myself, like, it's not right here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Apparently, Tiana said she read somewhere some Republican snitch, I don't know if it was senator or whatever, like said, like, or I guess tweeted out, like, this type of performance should never be allowed, you know, at a a sporting event like this, like, or should never be televised. And you know, just like saying how like raunchy and inappropriate it was, and I'm just like, really? You know, clearly, like, this person didn't watch when Shakira performed or J-Lo performed, because I'm sure, hell, when the Black Eyed Peas performed at halftime, I'm sure Fergie probably came out with something that was more skimpy than what, like, Mary J. Blige had on. and all of the females that were dancing with like 50 Cent, none of them were like going, you know, super ratchet. So, you know, I don't know what performance this guy was watching, but obviously just he can't stand hip hop and black culture.
It reminds me of when Beyonce and Bruno Mars took the stage, right? And there was the same type of criticism towards Beyonce and her the dancers, you know, her supporting, you know, crew dressed as Black Panthers. You know what I'm saying? It's like really it makes us examine, and we know what the answer is, but it makes you ask the question of what is it that you're really upset about?
But like, I mean, not only, well, what are you upset about? But also, like, do you not forget that Janet Jackson had her whole freaking titty pulled out? And that literally changed television and radio of all things. Like, it changed radio.
Yeah.
We had to go. I was an intern, had to go back and start to edit music and make it go from clean to super clean. Like, there was nothing that could be played on the radio anymore. Like, yeah. I think after that, didn't we start getting like different like rated Y7? Yeah. It's like, come on, man. Like, you know, you gotta be a little bit more educated when you try to, like, you know, speak on something that, like, clearly, you know, your argument like doesn't even carry any sort of weight whatsoever.
Well, the argument is rooted in anti-Blackness.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we know that it's racism, and it's racism separating that from prejudice. However, this is both, right? The racist aspect of this, and this is clearly for those of you listening that may be ignorant to what we're talking about, right? The racism aspect is that your comments against seeing Blackness on TV and your disdain for however you're feeling, whether it's uncomfortable, you know, you're uncomfortable, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Your opinion and your feelings being hurt can literally change the entire paradigm for Black people's existence on television.
Right.
Your feelings being hurt because of what?
Because you're in your emotions, nigga.
Which is wild. But again, that's rooted in anti-Blackness. You don't want to see what? You didn't want to see a very outspoken pro-Black white male that grew up in Detroit, Neil.
Right.
You didn't want to see Dr. Dre from Compton represent where he's from and be happy. You didn't want to see an entire culture being presented through Snoop Dogg with Dickie suits and chucks.
And I will say, Mary is definitely that one that we was sad. We was sad with her for a long time, and she put her story out there and was like, "I'm not sad no more." So it's like she took a lot of Black women out of that sadness. So it's like she
performed that song on a big stage.
Yeah. Which I was, you know, happy to see and a little bit surprised to see that song choice. But I get it, and I'm glad she did it, because, like, you know, to Brandy's point, like, it's, you know, in a sense, like an anthem for, you know, a lot of just women in general, especially Black women.
Nothing happens by chance. This stuff is now like the more awakened, you know, we begin to wake up more and more. It's like, just like how they went and said, get vaccines, we don't know why. And then they was like, I ain't getting that shit. And then it turns out you don't have to. It's like, we're starting to realize, like, oh yeah, you guys were trying to pull this wool over our eyes and make us intentionally not strive for more. Well, we're gonna intentionally show y'all that we can strive for more. We're gonna intentionally let you guys know this is what it looks like when you stay down for you, and no more drama. Like, it seems like, you know, me and John just had, or me and Foz was talking about how, like, the culture getting on one accord. It's like, whether people can and will get on one accord, those that are in position to do things are putting some intention on their shit. And that's really all we can for at this point.
Yep.
That's real. Yeah. Well,
West Side, nigga.
Unity. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Shit, man. Listen, I'm definitely on cloud nine. Shout out to my uncle, with Brandy's dad. You know what I'm saying? Who celebrated his birthday same day as the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? He has deemed himself to be ball cap cart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's a part of the wave cap gang. You know what I'm saying? So,
Johnny Wake Cap
Wave Cap Johnny gang. You know what I'm saying? But it was definitely a high that clearly we're still living on. You know what I mean? Just to celebrate life and to kind of just live in this moment, to see and celebrate Blackness. You know what I'm saying? It's such an amazing thing, man. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's to come, what's next.
Look at these things that you're buying. A lot of that shit has bleach in it. Super Bowl lets you know it's cool as fuck to be Black. You feel me? So like, watch.
They should have never gave you niggas Super Bowls.
That would be my answer to everything.
Y'all acting up. They should have never gave you niggas Super Bowls.
I see what we did. You know, I see. Dre said, "Still not loving the police."
That was he was supposed. That was another thing he wasn't supposed to say. Still not loving
Even
police.
if he was allowed to be, it's like
that's his truth.
We ain't forgot.
Listen, that's his truth. To go back to your point though too, right? It reminds me of like marijuana. Like I just watched a documentary, amazing documentary that literally outlined how cannabis, weed, ganja, how we got this negative, stigma put on top of it because it was associated with Black creativity, and that it's this multi-billion-dollar industry. All of a sudden, it's cool, but it's like, yo, you've ruined people's lives for decades,
generations, yeah.
Almost it's going on a century. You know what I'm saying? Like that you've been ruining lives, if it isn't a century already. You feel me? Like, it's like, man, like, keep your anti-Blackness to yourself.
And Sankova, I don't really know how you say it, but that is the word to go back and take your people with you. So, and that it's a little bird with its neck like twisted backwards, and it's for the Black community to go back and take one with you as you gain your ascension or whatever. In New York, like the brownstones, like the really expensive areas, that bird is upside down on a lot of the very rich buildings. Like almost like make sure that they don't take one with them. So you guys, it's very fucking cool to be this, okay?
Yeah.
Very okay, starting to make sense why y'all was trying to hide all that shit. Cool. We got it. West
Snoop said, y'all gonna see me.
Yeah, if you don't see me.
I know y'all saw it. I just have to look at it again.
I didn't see
He said,
this.
I am a Crip from Long Beach.
Queen. Real niggas do real things.
Yes, of course, Snoop.
Crip bandana jumpsuit, and you just put the little Rams gold on the shoulders just to, give it a little bit of.
It's still part of his gang affiliation because his gang colors is black, and gold.
It is.
Yeah. Because it's black, it's all calculated.
2020.
It's a whole 20, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder if Los Angeles will actually get a parade, because we've been denied now twice because the Lakers won, the Dodgers won, and because of COVID, like we haven't had a parade celebration.
Yeah, the amount of people shot this weekend is
really crazy. Yo, before we dip out, I just have to also shout out that this ball with Snoop performing took place on February 13th, 213.
Ah, bruh. There's probably not a lot of people that caught that.
You don't see it, you don't hear it. That's what it is.
We need that 213 album because I want to hear Joystick and Stay Fly or So Fly.
Can somebody
give Snoop on the
we're
phone.
Messaging him now to let him know. I don't even think he knows that it was 213. Like
I don't. Yeah.
They said it in the song though. Still 213, right? Listen, I'm gonna be living on this high all week. all week.
Like how Mary, I feel like how Mary was laid out. That's how I feel.
That's how I'm sleeping
That's
tonight.
how I feel. Like, you feel me? That's how niggas sleeping tonight. Hat on the boots, nigga. Boots, yeah, I'm doing the full set.
You about to super glue some broken glass onto your
all of it, and I'm just like this.
Your pajamas.
Just like this. See, wait. Okay.
All right. I guess on that note.
All right. Congratulations, Los Angeles Rams, world champions 2022. Hopefully everybody that's in Los Angeles came to visit, whatever the case may be, get back to your destination safely. Please go home because traffic is already undesirable as is.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. Please go home.
And if you don't know where you're going, take an Uber. Like,
walk.
why are y'all driving?
Just walk. Don't drive.
You don't even know where you're going.
Yeah.
Get off.
Get off of our freeways. Don't.
But come back and spend some money.
Spend all the money. Spend the money at thekickbackshow.com. Go ahead and buy your merch. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get yourself some socks. You can get you a sweatshirt, get you a nice little shirt with our beautiful faces all up on there and them things. You know what I'm saying?
WESTSIDE nigga will be coming soon. Yeah.
And make sure you follow us at The Kickback Show on all of your social media devices. At The Kickback Show, thekickbackshow.com. I go by the name of Foz. You can find me at WaveCap Johnny on everything. And she is
WESTSIDE, Nigga. As well as organic blackberry. Tastes like sound like it tastes. You feel me? It's a wonderful experience. And he is
DJ Swivel on Twitter, Swivel on Instagram, SWIVLL.
That is picture Tiana Giovanna, even though she looks like she's the same size. That's the mini version. That's hard.
Not hard.
It's hard to have a mini version when she's already like.
Right. Yeah. It's my call it at that point.
Damn.
It becomes the microscopic.
Not the Quantum Mania. That's crazy.
Yeah. Second life, second earth. That's when we start getting the atoms. You know how atoms never break down? That's that's is what I meant to say. So
they said regular people window shop. Tiana looks at her clothes under a microscope. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Magnify.
Wow.
Damn.
So, but that's cool though. I never threw away my Barbie clothes because I always knew that like I would be able to repurpose it. Because I'm big repurposing. Like I don't like to destroy things. So I remember that day when I was like, you are why I saved all this. It's I would say Bratz dolls. She's a little. It's not Barbie. It's unrealistic. It's Bratz.
Yeah.
They said this is how they test drove Tiana in her first car.
Yeah, that's her first car.
Okay, I'm done.
This is us, Shay. We mixed together. Like, come back to it. We'll see you later.
All right.
It's WESTSIDE, nigga.
That's it. We love y'all. Until next time, really appreciate you. And peace.
Look at so we got someone to throw up the WESTSIDE. This nigga's no longer acting dark skin.